Hello, my name is Kelsey Wynn, and I am a second year MSW student here at Union. And I am gearing up for my concentration year in field seminar, which I'm really excited about that. I embarked on my journey with Pathways Behavioral Services last semester in the spring, and I get the pleasure of continuing my practicum with Pathways Behavioral Services and wrapping up my second and final year here at Union in their Master Social Work program. And I just want to reflect back on my journey with Pathways in the spring semester. Really, honestly, Pathways was not my first choice. My actual first field placement was with Healthier Beginnings, which is affiliated with West Tennessee Healthcare, and they deal with youth from birth up until a couple months old. And my job was to go into the homes and work with the new mothers and make sure they have all the services they need and teach them any skills that they may not know. Due to conflicts with my work schedule, I was not able to intern with the hours of their office. So since I was already in the system with West Tennessee Healthcare, I was presented with Pathways Behavioral Services, which I was familiar with some of their services at their building. But it's so much that Pathways Behavioral Services offers as far as services and interventions for individuals, not just children, but for adults as well. And therefore, that is where I was and am now. Um, my practicum for the spring, I was in the crisis triage as well as upstairs dealing with inpatient and outpatient services. And those patients upstairs, they dealt with issues from alcohol, drugs, or just really needed some counseling and some interventions to live day to day. That's where I was placed. And just to summarize how I did with my competencies that were put in place and what was expected of me out of my placement, I would, based off the scale that was given, I would rate myself at a 3, which that is the emerging. And I put 3 because it's in the middle. And I chose 3 because I had a lot of issues with my placement and just really getting all of my hours in due to my work schedule and trying to balance being a working graduate student and fulfilling all the requirements in my practicum placement. I picked 3 as well also because I feel like I didn't really get the full experience because my mindset had to be was to get these hours clocked in, and due to my work schedule, most of my time clocking my hours was really late in the evening, which there wasn't much I could do at Pathways. It was more so the crisis part that I was always at for the most part of my practicum, getting my hours clocked. And I even eventually had to take some time off at work to actually get a real experience during the day and see what else is offered there. And I was able to complete psychosocials with actual patients and as well as participate in group and assist with that. So that's why I had chose 3 for competencies, and I also chose it 3 because I felt like at one point I didn't have the initiative and the drive that I needed. Just because really just feeling discouraged, like I wasn't going to be able to complete what I need to complete because it was so hard to get my hours in at first. The areas of growth that I identified, one thing I recognized, and I mentioned it to my field supervisor as well as to my field professor, is that I really needed to overcome uncomfortability. Because it was times where I felt just so uncomfortable, and in my opinion, I felt like that affected how I really interacted and dealt with clients and patients. I definitely don't want to be uncomfortable to the point where they feel uncomfortable, because a lot of times when you work with individuals, they feed off of your energy, and I definitely never want a client to feel uncomfortable just because I'm uncomfortable, because it is, it's different, and it's not the easiest scenario to be in with an individual that you do not know, and you're having to come and assist them, and sometimes they don't always, right from the jump, want the help that you're trying to give. So it does place a little uncomfortability in me. So that's one area of growth. And just organization and scheduling, because I'm going to continue to be a working grad student, but I also have an obligation and responsibility in the practicum class to fulfill my hours, and to not just fulfill my hours, but to get a true experience, not just to go in, get these hours, but really learn some things that is definitely new for me, because I normally work with kids. So now I'm in a field where I'm working with adults. So it's pushing me out of my comfort zone. So that was my second area of growth. And those, I really picked those areas of growth from interaction with my field supervisor. There's some things that she pointed out, as well as my field teacher, and just really self-reflection. Like I do really well in noticing my flaws as well as noticing my strengths, but more so noticing my flaws, because I never want my flaws to affect my work or my interaction with anybody that I come in contact with. Because with this practicum, I do take it and I view it as, this is me, this is a legit career. It's not just for a grade, but I have the opportunity to really help and assist people. It just so happens to be within a graduate program. So I'm really excited for the upcoming semester and for the rest of the year. And I'm truly believing that all of my areas of growth and all the nervousness and any other concerns that I have are going to eventually dwindle away. Really with just implementing the things I need to implement, and really stepping into this thing and being consistent, time sensitive, and just doing the things that I need to do. So I'm really excited, and I look forward to completing this task and see where the rest of the year and the semester goes.